Welcome to Not Like This. Not Like This. From professional wrestling, horror films, and everything in between. Strap in. And now your hosts, Dale Zawada and Jim Snedeker Jr.
The Bold Heart single, One More Chance, is out. It is debuted. It came out Friday like it was supposed to.
Yeah, can we talk? Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it. So
I remembered it like a couple days before it came out, and I thought, oh, that's happening. That's coming out, and I got real excited. And I was like, he didn't plug that on the show. Like we do these plugs at the end. And I was like, oh, he didn't do that.
No, I
got
didn't.
real mad. I got mad.
Well, no, you shouldn't be mad. Here's why I didn't plug it.
I'm mad.
I didn't know if it was going to really come out because I've never done this before. Now, I should have known. I used a company called CD Baby. They've been around for a long, long time. They're reputable.
They put out my record. They put out my comedy album.
I bet they did. They've been around since 94 or something. Now, the problem is because I'd never done this and Bold Hearts wasn't already an artist and I didn't know what I was doing, the pre-save thing, I thought I was going to have some access to my Spotify account before this thing came out to sort of get ready, and I didn't. You don't. You just don't exist on Spotify until it's released on release day. So I didn't want to plug anything on Monday because I wasn't 100% sure that come Friday it was going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't want to be the guy who's like, go get this thing on this day, and then it's not there. And people are like, he's just an asshole. And then people waste their time. They're looking for Bold Hearts, and it's not there. Here's what I did.
But it's there now.
It's there now. You can go, if you go to Spotify, Bold Hearts, I mean, that doesn't seem like that weird of a name, right? Like, those are pretty common words to put together to make a band. And yet, when we were mulling over names, there was not a Bold Hearts on Spotify. And I thought, okay, let's seal her up then. Let's do it. So if you went and you searched Bold Hearts and you clicked artists, you'll see it. The cover of the album's pink and white of the single. I wanted it to stand out on Spotify. Most people have like the dark theme, so the background's black on Spotify. So it pops right out. You see it. Bold Hearts, that's the one.
And you're a Bret Hart mark, so you're like, let's do it.
Well, it really didn't have anything to do with that, but
that pink and black attack.
Pink and black attack. It's white and black, but he's got white in his costume too.
And his skin.
Gear. Well, skin. I mean, the Bret Hart of my memory is the skin's always bronze.
Oh yeah, he tanned every day.
It was there at 12:26 or something a.m. But I was checking. And I was checking the day before, like maybe it'll show up the day before and it's unavailable, like you can't click on it. No, it's like it never existed, and then it just, boom, it exists. Here was the test, Dale. I listen to the Joe Rogan Experience all the time, and I saw a podcast. It came through on Monday that there was a new episode, and it was Maynard James Keenan from Tool, In a Perfect Circle, and Pussifer, but most from Tool. That's what people know him as. Tool is notorious for not having any of their catalog on any streaming service ever, right?
Oh.
So the first thing he says, it's Monday morning, I'm making my coffee, I'm listening. That's one where I put it on right away. I see him as the guest, I got to listen to it right away. He's like, let's just put this out here right now. I'm going to go on my phone right now and tweet this to everyone. On Friday, August 2nd, all of Tool's catalog will be available on all. And I'm like, oh boy. He didn't even know my single was coming out that day for months and months. He just decided that he just announced that shit on Monday. So they probably planned it way in advance. So that was the test for me. I looked, is Tool available yet? No, they're not. There's some other band that isn't Tool that we know named Tool on Spotify. Not the same Tool. So all of their accidental plays are going to be over now. But
yeah, they probably got a nice bump this week.
When I I thought like, well, if Tool's shit shows up Thursday, it's a bad sign, right? That it's available, but you just can't listen to it yet. It didn't. And then I kept checking. It was I was trying to fall asleep. I saw that it was after midnight, and I'm like, you know what? It is technically Friday. And I looked, no Bold Hearts, no Bold Hearts. Let me check on Tool. No Tool, no Tool. And then I check again, Bold Hearts. There it is. It's there. My heart sort of skipped a little bit. Like, oh shit. Like, is it gonna? Did I send him the right file? Like, you just panic.
It's just an episode of this podcast. But fuck.
I'm like 53 minutes. What? And then the next, when I refreshed and checked for Tool a minute later, there was Tool. So they must, didn't matter if you're Tool or Bold Hearts, you motherfuckers go up at the same time.
Yep, just like a big old slop drop. Just there you go.
So it was out, and I was going to wait till like the morning, to try and do some strategy, because I didn't want to build up to it, not knowing if it was going to be there. And I couldn't help it. Right away at midnight, I just posted a picture of it and like tagged some friends like, hey, look, we beat Tool. We were up first. And then I posted the links to it, and so people listened. And I picked, so it's on Spotify. It's on Amazon Music Unlimited. So I don't think you can go on Amazon Prime Music anymore. Like if you were already up there, you're still up there. But they're like trying to phase that out. So I'm not on Prime Music. I'm on Music Unlimited.
What about Pandora? You on Pandora?
It's on Pandora.
Sweet.
It's on Apple Music. It's on YouTube. And I thought about this. I'm like, why YouTube? Like, that's up to me to like make a video, right? And post it on YouTube. CD Baby has their own like artist account thing that it just uploads a song with a picture of the album on it for you on YouTube, which I thought was cool because I have some friends that don't have Spotify, don't have Apple Music. I could link them to the YouTube.
Link them to the YouTube.
It's, it's exciting. It's a sort of a weight off my shoulders. Look, Dale, some things didn't go how I wanted. We still don't have a fucking band photo. So there's no website up because there's no pictures of us or anything. The website's there. It exists. I can put things on it, but there's nothing to put on it.
Need the content.
I need the content. The music video, most of it is shot, but there's scenes I need Scott for, and I haven't gotten those shot yet, and I got to edit it and everything. I said that I'd have the video ready for when this came out. I don't, but I said, what did I say? It's coming out Friday, August 2nd, and it fucking came out Friday, August 2nd. The Bold Heart single, One More Chance. Give it a listen. You're allowed to listen to it more than once. My wife asked me, hey, does it show you how many people have listened? Spotify does this thing where I don't know if it's like they want to big time you or they were like, don't waste our time, where it'll just show you less than 1,000 plays.
Oh, okay.
So
before they hit you with specifics,
right,
they're like, you're over here.
They're like, we ain't wasting money showing you numbers until you get over 1,000, okay? So all I know is it's less than 1,000.
Less than 1,000. But it's out, and now we can plug it up real good. I listened to it right away. It's in a bunch of my playlists. It's nice. It's a good little song. You're gonna have people wanting more. They're gonna be like, "That's good. What about the next jam? When do we get that? And who are you guys? We want to see your faces. You gotta get those band pictures."
I agree, and we will do this. We will do this. The other, like I've said on the show, the other songs that we're working on, they're essentially done being written. We have to record them, and mix it and release it. But this was just a little taste. I mean, this was something where it was just happenstance that the song is me singing and me playing guitar, so I can just record it at my house whenever I have time.
At your leisure.
But we did this, all the decisions and all that was made as a band. We're essentially like a duo. And I said, hey, are you cool with this being the first, like, I wanted to have something out by the summer. This is done. Do you want to put this out? And Scott was like, yes, totally cool. But he's being like super modest about it. He didn't want to take any credit for it. He's like, no, that's your song. You wrote the whole thing. But when you're writing a song, like he just hummed a little bit of the chorus melody after I played that riff. And that's what I used as a jumping off point. So it's not like he feels like he barely contributed, but it was a big contribution.
Major contributor.
A major contributor. Major. So
Scott.
On the one hand, yeah, it feels I didn't have everything lined up like I wanted to, and part of me, it feels icky to me because I like to have things in order and ready to go and perfect, you know? And it's a shit show, except that the song came out on the day I wanted it to. Album art. Our friend Pat, he did the logo. He designed the logo. That's like a variation of the logo he made.
Sweet.
I sort of tweaked it to fit it in that square and then just typed the name of the single in it. But I'm excited. It feels good to have it out there.
I bet.
You know, like it's finally out there and it's like legit out there. I didn't just like, hey, here's a demo of my song I put on YouTube. You know, like it's released. It's out there in the world. It feels good. It feels good.
I like it. I liked it.
I'm glad
People
you
seem
liked
to like it. I think we just got to get it out there. We just got to push it. We need to make. You said you're working on a music video.
Yeah, I have it shot.
All right, good.
I have it shot. There's like one little scene I'm going to do with Scott just to make a little funny thing in the beginning. You know, a little sense of humor. I feel that's important. When you have other media out there, you have interviews or videos up or something, it should represent your personality. You know, like if you watch like a Foo Fighters interview or whatever, you're like, oh, Dave Grohl is like a funny guy and he's like having fun. Or you see someone else, they're like super serious. Like, so I want the video to have a sense of humor about it. Because we're not like super serious.
Yeah, you got to give them a little exposition. We're
funny, regular dudes.
They're funny, good time lads.
Yeah. Oh, Dale, it took so long. It took so long to get something out there.
But it seemed pretty fast. You're like, yeah, me and my buddy working on a thing, and then it's out. I was like, damn, that's good though. That's very good.
Yeah, I mean, the from writing to being released, I guess it's kind of fast. It was like this song was probably 4 months or something, 5 months, which for me is fast. I still have songs that I've been writing for 7 years that aren't done being recorded yet. But part of it was saying, look, we're going to have something out this summer. I guarantee it. And then I'm like, I got to make good. I got to get it out there. Come hell or high water.
Nice. More shit coming out around the fall, maybe winter.
I would say right now, tentatively, it would be if more stuff comes out this year, it'll be winter because we won't have time to get it recorded until the fall.
That makes sense. That tracks. Just make sure you have at least one Christmas song in there.
Yeah, I don't want to blow up his spot. I'm not trying to dox Scott here, but he works in an industry where in the summer is nonstop getting slammed, ass blasted, if you will, and then it slows down in the fall.
Gotcha.
So,
prostitute.
So it's sort of my fault picking summer, but I'm like, let's just get something out there, just one thing, a 2-song single or a 1 single, something. Let's get something out there.
2-song single, huh?
Yeah, well, there's historically singles have had a B-side. You know, like the single is, you know, whatever, and then the B-side is another song.
It's just fun to say that 2-song single.
Yeah.
Is it one? It's just like
well, they got to do something. They got to do something with the other side of the 45s. They're not just going to leave it empty.
Yeah, that's money. It should just be an advertisement. If
it's all business shit.
If these motherfuckers were in charge, then other side would be a fucking Popeyes commercial. Side.
I bet there's a 45 out there that was released as a single where the other side's got some promotional shit on it. They used to send out used to get promotional copies of stuff with albums sometimes if you bought them on release day. Specifically, the one I remember was Megadeth switched record labels in the early 2000s, and their first album on the new label came with a compilation from the record label, and it had like one of the songs from that album on it, but then it had like, you know, a bunch of different songs from other people, and one of those songs ended up being like one of my favorite songs from this band, Corrosion of Conformity. And I heard it on this little weird demo like disc that came with, it's like a promotional disc that came with an album.
Nice.
Part of it is like, man, it's out there now, so I know it can be done. I know I can release things and they can make it out into the world because it's happened. We've done it.
Yeah, you've got an outlet.
And you know, like once you've done something in your mind, it sort of unlocks a door where you're like, well, I know that that's possible because it's already happened. I've already done it. Like when I was doing push-ups and I wanted to get to 100. Like getting to 50 used to seem impossible. But then once you hit 50, you're like, well, I know I can hit 50. I've done it. I already know I can do that. So it's good. It might be... There's a chance there'll be more solo me stuff that comes out before the next Bold Hearts thing.
All right.
Because I have some of that that's getting close to done as well.
In the chamber.
And once you set up your publishing company and all that stuff, it's like a one-time fee. So like all that's out of the way. That shit's all done. I got to do it again. So what have you been up to, Dale?
I have just been living my life. I went to the Taste of Orland the other day instead of the Taste of Chicago. Orland Park's like we're a real city, kind of. So they had the Taste of Orland, and I went to that, you know, after work. I was like, this is just a carnival without rides. Like this kind of sucks.
So it's like shitty carnival food too without rides.
Yeah, well, some of the restaurants were good. There's a fucking Brazilian steakhouse at the Orland Mall, and they had a booth at this place. So I had some bacon wrapped chicken and some Brazilian sausage, and it was so good.
I was just at the Orland Mall. Where's this fucking steakhouse?
It's on one like the main corner, there off 151st side.
What?
Yeah.
By the Cheesecake Factory?
To the right of it.
Oh,
Right
to
side.
To the right of it.
To the right. Yeah. So, because at first I saw it in the mall, and I said, I don't want to eat Brazilian steakhouse at the Orland Mall. And then I saw the booth at the Taste, and then I had a taste, and I said, I think I'm going to have the Brazilian steakhouse at the Orland Mall.
I think I'll be going to that Orland Mall more.
So excited about that. Yeah, that's what I did, and I got the WWE Network.
Ooh,
we're back together.
Baby.
We broke up, and now we're reunited, which I was talking about doing. You know,
Forever.
I said, guys, there's so much I want to watch and catch up on, and I need it for our Patreon episodes.
Oh, Patreon episodes? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's queued up. It's chambered up, man. We got some cool episodes that are going to be lined up for that.
And it's nice to see what they did with WWE Network. Their search function is still the fucking worst.
Yes, I hate
the
it.
worst in all of the streaming devices. But I do like that they keep things topical and up to date. Like Harley Race passed away, and like right there on their front page, it's like, watch all these great Harley Race matches. We know he died.
King Harley Race.
And I ended up doing that. I was watching some fucking Starrcade 1983 Harley Race going up against Ric Flair. Some good shit, Jim.
You know what pisses me off about their search function? So I've been I've been strict with my diet lately. I've been counting all my calories and my macros and all that stuff and really hitting the gym. What I like to do, I was having weird this all will tie in, I promise. But I was having this weird Achilles tendon pain and like this weird heel pain. And I was running and doing sprints and stuff. And before that I used to run like slower long distance stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's from running. So I'm going to hit the elliptical. But I can't just hit the elliptical, like I'm not a soccer mom. So I put it on the like intervals where it'll get super hard, where it's like almost like a stair climber on a hard setting thing, which is also like a soccer mom thing. But I'm like, I need a distraction. I'll fire up the network. And I'm like, man, I remember hearing about like Ric Flair would say he'd do his like squats every day and he'd get on the Stairmaster every morning and all this shit. So I'm like, I'll watch a Ric Flair match. What Ric Flair match do I want to watch? And I search Bret Hart versus Ric Flair. That was all I searched, right? Because I knew when that title match happened. It was at a house show in Winnipeg. Bret beats Ric Flair for the title in like November of 92. The first like 19 things that show up have nothing to do with Ric Flair or Bret Hart. And then like way down the list, it's like in ring something. And then if I kept scrolling to the right, I eventually got to the one I was looking for. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, because I was searching, spoilers, I was searching WrestleMania 9. Caesar's Palace.
Can I guess what happened?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, when I was searching it, I typed in WrestleMania space IX. And not a goddamn thing shows up. I had to type the number 9.
Yeah, I did that because after I eventually got to WrestleMania, it's like WrestleMania 31. I saw it wasn't Roman numerals or anything, so I said, okay, it's smarting me up.
I didn't pay attention. I was too dumb.
Well, at first I put in Mania because I was like, I don't want to type the whole thing. How good is your search? Fuck shit.
It's a fucking wrestling website. Can I just type Mania? You fill in the blanks?
Yeah, but anything with Mania in there, Mania 9, like that should pull it up.
I get it. It's like if you're on Guitar Center's website and you type in strings, like they know what kind of fucking string I'm looking for. Guitar strings.
Yeah.
Mania. Maniac Cop 2? You're like, why is this on here?
And then when I'm typing, I'm like, oh, I have to type in WrestleMania. Fine. And as I get the word wrestle completed, I stop to see what the results would be. And it's like AWA Classic. And I'm like, wait, does it begin with wrestle? He fucks. It sucked. And there's no save function. So if I'm done watching for the day and I want to pick it up tomorrow, I got to fucking type in WrestleMania 9 with their 2-line fucking keyboard instead of a traditional keyboard layout. We get this weird double line bullshit.
They're just doing whatever they want.
Oh, not a fan. And so I'm watching all this wrestling, and I love it. I miss it. I missed wrestling. It's nice to try to catch up. There's NXT UK, so you got all these fucking bearded guys elbowing each other. It's fantastic. Watching some old shit, and it got me thinking of characters today versus characters of old, because we've got this is the best talent that's ever existed, right? Like these are they're super athletes, the Ricochets and all these fucking guys. It's insane.
We've seen it in other sports too. The similar thing has happened. Like as the sport grows, as the contracts get better, as sort of the world shrinks in a way, you're just going to get better and better athletes that want to be involved.
Yeah. So like now it's as good as it gets, but like Andrade in WWE, like he's amazing, but he's just kind of a great wrestler. Like that's his thing. Ricochet, it's fantastic, but he's just a great wrestler on the show. Like that's his thing. Roderick Strong, just a great wrestler. Whereas back and people are like, well, they need storylines, got to get him in an angle. German needs an angle. It's like they don't need angles. They need fucking characters.
Yeah.
And that's what you had. That's what you had in the 80s. That's what you had in the 90s. Even if they weren't great, you knew where they were coming from because they had this fucking goofy character from the Brooklyn Brawler to Duke the Dumpster Droese. You're like, that's just a hardworking guy. That's a hardworking guy, big dude. Maybe some extra cash for his like. There's not a lot of talking, and there's places to go from it.
Even guys that were like their gimmick was that they were a wrestler. Guys like Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, like they were characters still.
Oh yeah.
They weren't just like, I got tights on and I wrestle. Like they didn't have a job gimmick, but Bret Hart, other, I'm trying to think of other ones like that. There wasn't like a weird, I'm a mortician.
I like that because the
Bret Hart wasn't much
gimmicks,
of a character, honestly, but like Mr. Perfect was. What was his gimmick? Like, I'm perfect. I'm the best athlete in the world.
It's in my name.
Yeah.
And you could do a lot with the character. Obviously, all the vignettes over the years of him doing all the cool, perfect sports stunts. There's a lot of places to go there, and there's a lot of matchups you can pull off of it based on who you are. Whereas if you're like, I'm a good wrestler, it's like, yeah, you can wrestle anybody on the roster, but it's not gonna be a lot of heat in that until we build up. Like you're gonna need an angle.
Yeah,
hardcore.
There's not a lot of story. And as a kid, I remember like just wishing there'd be more matches. Not as a kid, but as a teenager, like, come on, I just want to see some good matches. First of all, I think one of the problems is there's just too much. They have so many people on their roster that are on TV all the time and are, like you said, really, really good from all over planet Earth. And then they have their feeder system. They have NXT, and those people are good, And what is there like? Even with the TV they have now, what do they have, like 3 hours? What is SmackDown, an hour or 2 hours?
2.
So they have 4 hours a week. Right? Is Raw 3 or 2 hours?
I think Raw's 3.
So they have 5 hours a week, and they still can't.
NXT's an hour, so that's 6.
They don't have enough time to build a story with all these people. And even if they did, there'd be way too many stories going on. There's too much. It's oversaturated.
See, that's the problem. Because they have the 5 hours a week, you shouldn't be trying to do intricate fucking interweaving storylines. And just like, no. That's going to be fucking impossible. And everyone back there's going to blow their brains out trying to keep that shit making sense. Although Vince is always just like, they won't remember 2 weeks ago. Who gives a shit? But if you're just going to be shotgun blasting your content every week, just have some fucking colorful characters. Like Stone Cold didn't need storylines. Obviously, he had like literally the one, him versus McMahon.
Yep.
But people tune in to see that character and to see what shenanigans that motherfucker was going to do. It's like, oh, he's got a fucking beer truck or whatever it was. Like, holy shit. Like that's what people want. They don't just want to tune in to see, here's Andrade and his sexy valet. They're going to walk to the ring. They're going to put on a nice little 6-7 minute match with a commercial break, a couple high spots, and he may or may not win. And it's like, no, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Obviously, I'm not in that industry. I'm not in that business. But there was just, if you just turned on Raw in 1999, even with all the like weird, they'd have like these sub-storyline, like the Godfather's hose and something with Goldust, the Brood. You knew like overall, oh well, yeah. Now The Rock and Mankind are that's the main thing right now.
Oh,
and
God,
like that.
Yeah, the Rock was Mankind, the ultimate character.
Yeah,
Whew.
Mick Foley, Stone Cold, The Undertaker. And Kane, like that was a thing.
Seen as a character because he's like a G.I. Joe.
He is.
He's like Superman, G.I. Joe babyface. And it's like, that's a character. That is a character.
I feel like now, even with their big stars, the storyline between, whoever the rivals are, it's It doesn't seem deep. It doesn't seem like not deep, but it doesn't seem like it's anchored to anything. Like it doesn't seem like it's ever going anywhere. It's too much going on.
And when it's supposed to culminate at these pay-per-views, these WrestleManias, these SummerSlams, they don't a lot of times, and that's rough. And it just keeps mucking around and muddling about to the next show and the next show. And it's just sometimes it's just not very enjoyable.
Here's another thing to bring up. Going back to what I was saying, back in the late 90s, you could have WCW had a big roster. But after the NWO debuted, yeah, you'd be watching a cruiserweight match and like other things that happened, but there was the moment you're waiting for. There's like, when are we going to see Hall and Nash and Hogan come out? Like, there was always something that to hook you in to like, this is why I'm watching. Same thing with Stone Cold and The Rock. Like there'd be other Val Venus would have a match and shit, but there was
Venus, what a character.
You knew what you were there for. You knew the big shit is gonna happen. What is that right now? Who is there?
Yeah, it was CM Punk for a while, and now it's nobody.
I mean, now like today, like
it's nobody.
Well, like in their eyes,
like there's been that gap since Punk fucking left. It's just like, why are we? This isn't must see anymore. It's just we like wrestling, so we're gonna watch it. You fucks.
And it's hard to try and nail down why that is. It's like the music industry thing. It's like, well, why? How can we get it back? It's never gonna be the same as it was. Maybe it can be good again in a different way. But it's hard. You can't go backwards.
AEW.
Yeah,
AEW.
I think just them being around in having some financial backing could help. I mean, I don't feel like it's a coincidence that the further away we get from the Monday Night Wars, the less interesting I feel like the programming is. Like it stayed good for a while after there was only just WWEF, whatever. Like they still had some good top stars, but I think a lot of that, like you had shit where like Undertaker's wrestling Shawn Michaels and Shawn Michaels is wrestling Ric Flair. Like, yeah, that's also could be 1992. Like you were holding on to the end of that era. And then once that was all completely gone and you're in the era of Cena and stuff, and I have nothing against him whatsoever. It's just what is there now? Like there aren't any of those like legends that are still around.
Brock Lesnar has that aura.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, I give you that. As a character, he's kind of.
Yeah, well, as a character, and as like what's he gonna like? He can snap. Like he's a bear. It's like he could snap. This trained bear could snap at any moment. If he gets pissed off, he might start hurting this guy, or isn't aware of his strength and just whoop threw you outside the ring on accident because I'm too strong. Like I love that aspect of it because he's a sideshow. He's a sideshow fucking freak, and I love it.
He's almost like the Giant Gonzalez. Do you feel like? So I think another couple of things may have sort of turned something around. Not so much the end of the kayfabe era. Like nobody really thought the shit was real when I was a little kid. But once you get there's always a backstage segment all the time. There's always sort of like a behind the scenes. Is this a work or a shoot? Mm-hmm. And like in the 90s, that was a big thing. Like, like some of the things that really worked were things where the so-called smart fans were like, I don't even know. Did he really get hurt? Like, we can't tell. Like you run out of that ammunition.
Yeah, the stuff they produce backstage is subpar. It's safe, it's repetitive, and they never do anything exciting back there.
They never used to do that shit. I mean, they did in the Attitude Era and stuff, but I mean historically, you'd get like a contract signing thing they would show you, like a pre-tape thing, Or every once in a great while, you'd get
Yeah, those are great.
like a fight that ended up through the curtain into the backstage area. But it
Yeah.
wasn't just like,
Yeah,
oh,
we're
here's
gonna
another
see that in
backstage.
WrestleMania 9. Oh,
Yeah.
can't wait to do that. It's gonna be fun.
Or like
Patreon.net.
the Jake the Snake and Undertaker and Macho Man and Elizabeth, like that type of stuff. It was rare. So when it happened, you're like, ooh, wow, this is different. And you can't put that back in the tube. That toothpaste is out. I think. Do you feel like there aren't enough casual fans anymore? Do you feel like everyone that watches is sort of like in a way, some sort of a diehard fan that reads the rumors and keeps up with Japan and all that stuff? So there's no more casual fans anymore?
I think there are. I think the viewers are fine. It's just not growing. You're not getting new fans. You're not converting. Like, you have resources that are going to fucking shrivel up and die when we fucking croak, Jim. Because I don't think they're going to get new people, because it's like no one's tuning in to watch Seth Rollins cry and bitch and moan and fight Baron Corbin. Like, no one's like, oh, it changed my life. Like, the moment that got me was literally I stumble upon Shawn Michaels super kicking Jannetty and throwing him through the barbershop window. If that's your first fucking interaction with pro wrestling, you're on board forever.
But you know what else, to your point, in that segment, right away, as a little kid, you knew, oh, he's a piece of shit. He's a bad guy. You know, like, I'm not supposed to I'm not supposed to like him.
Yeah.
And I feel like now everyone's a tweener or something. Like, I don't really hate anybody. And I'm supposed to know who the heels are. And I don't anymore. Yeah. Everyone's flipping back and forth all the time, and I think part of it is like the crowd reaction. Maybe the people who attend, you know, maybe there's no casual fans that go to these things anymore. They're all hardcore fans. So they all like, you know, like you talked about, Dolph Ziggler used to be everyone's indie sweetheart favorite guy, and then till he wasn't. You know, so they cheer for this guy that's not supposed to be a big thing. CM Punk was one of those guys that sort of just had this following, but he was really good. He did like really good promos and everything. But
yeah, so
they set that barbershop segment up to draw you in. And they were like, here's what's going to happen, and this is going to make the viewers feel like this, and it did all of that. And now we're always trying to pick it apart from like an artistic standpoint.
Well, there's nothing to pick apart.
I know.
It's boring, same old shit. But we'll see. AEW debuts on TNT Wednesday, October 2nd. We'll see. We'll see what happens when these boys get on the TV. If WWE responds, or they'll just like passively respond. And it's like, well, we're going to have this show on Wednesday, because I think they're going to be going up against NXT, which is fun. And yeah, we'll see if there's counter programming, and people are going to be getting all fucking chirpy on Twitter. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
I tried and tried and tried. Could not. I started to get my 9-year-old Teddy. I started to get him into wrestling a little bit when he was like 4 or 5. But I couldn't get him to watch Raw. Like, I couldn't, like, he wouldn't know what was going on. He wouldn't know who to root for and not root for. I couldn't. I tried with Jack. Now he's almost 5. They're just not into it. And man, nobody had to get me into that shit. It was like a comic book on TV that was sort of like a sport, but it's not. Like, it wasn't hard for me to jump on board.
And that's what makes it painful and concerning, because your boys, like, that's who they're going for in a lot of these characters and storylines. And apparently it's not working. So you're not getting the kids, which is your goal. You're not pleasing, you know, people who used to like watching the good wrestling. It's like, there's no winners in this. There's no winners.
Everything is so exposed, and everything is, we know so much about who's really this character, what's his real name, all that stuff, that it's hard to get invested in their on-screen persona. like emotionally, like it was a TV show.
Yeah. Well, this Sunday it's SummerSlam. Did you know that, Jim? I'm sure you didn't.
I didn't, and I have the network,
But
and
it's
I
here.
watch
It's
it regularly.
and I kind of have Raw in the background every week, and I was just like, oh, SummerSlam. I love having something to do on Sundays after work. That's great. And I was just like, I couldn't name a single match. So I wanted to preview the card, just seeing what the fuck's on the card, so I know. And at first glance, this looks like a very good pay-per-view. And they've been doing that lately, where the pay-per-views, wrestling-wise, are pretty solid. It's just these build-ups and their weekly programming it's just not where it should be. So here's a list of the SummerSlam, bottom to the top. Singles match. What the fuck is this? Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair.
Trish Stratus is back.
Trish Stratus is back. I know they were going at it on Twitter. I didn't know that was some kayfabe match stuff. Well, that's interesting. That's not for a title or anything. That's going to be Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. All right. See, that should be a big portion of your show. You're having one of these legends return. You know?
Yeah,
I like that.
it should be something that you're programming into as well. Like on
If you're
Raw,
gonna
like,
bring one of
and
these
stick
fucking
around later for
dinosaurs
this.
back, yeah, exactly. Fucking milk it. We also have, oh man, this match has probably happened over 1,000 times. It's a singles match, non-title. The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Holy shit, Jim. These guys have probably faced each other so many times. So many times.
Yeah, they can't go away anywhere else and like come back with a fresh take. Like I feel like these two guys have been around forever at this point. And what do you have new to tell there? What have you done?
Yeah. Dolph Ziggler's done. He's exhausted his options as far as story. Like, I'm going to do the bitter veteran. I'm going to do the push me to the moon because I'm so damn good. I'm going to do the like they've done all of them. It's like, you're done. There's literally nothing else to do here with you. And but the Miz right now is a face, and it's decent, but it's so a singles match for the U.S. Championship. Wow, this is probably going to be match of the night. Ricochet going up against the champ AJ Styles. So that'll be fun.
It'll be a good match.
That'll be nice. The storyline up to it, that's one I'm somewhat up to speed with. That one gets a lot of TV time because AJ Styles has the Bullet Club, and they're calling him something else, the original club or something. So it's a bit of a heel faction. He's got Luke Gallows and the other guy with him. So, and they're like trying to just like muscle Ricochet and treat him like a bitch. And you're like, I ain't no bitch. Watch this flip.
I'm gonna fuck you like a bitch.
Another match, singles match, non-title. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. This will be interesting. Bray Wyatt's doing this like serial killer human fucking flesh mask thing, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Is he still Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, but he's Bray Wyatt with this mask.
Does he still do the upside down weird thing?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, has he been gone for a while and come back, or just sort of like at the bottom of the card?
Long time.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. That'll be a good match, probably, and interesting storyline wise. See, SummerSlam, like this is good. I wish the builds were better. I wish the Miz and Dolph Ziggler wasn't on the show. Here's some more singles match. If Kevin Owens loses, he's gonna quit. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. So they're still going at it. See, that's one that should have culminated at Mania, because I think that's when they fought. Or they had the supposed blow off for it not too long ago, but they keep going.
Yeah, and Shane's gonna jump off something.
Shane's gonna jump. Kevin Owens is doing a lot of stunners because Stone Cold. Singles match for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton challenging Kofi Kingston. Decent build. I can always live without Randy Orton. But this is a decent build because they have some history back in the day. Randy Orton like supposedly snuffed Kofi's push because Orton's an asshole. So they're using that stuff, blending the lines.
guess. I mean, you got to use what's there.
Yeah. But that's really not a great match for either one of them. We also have a singles match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Ember Moon challenging Bayley. Okay. We have a submission match for the Raw Women's Championship. Natalya versus Becky Lynch. That one's been getting some good TV time because it's Becky Lynch.
I thought
but it's Natalya, so it's hard.
I thought she wasn't wrestling anymore.
She's around, yeah.
I thought she was just like a manager or something. No.
No.
Okay.
Nope. And singles match for the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins challenging Brock Lesnar. Which they did this at Mania. Why are we still doing it? This was the curtain jerker of Mania, and now it's going to main event SummerSlam.
And Brock is one of those, like, he's a heel, but he's a monster that everyone loves, right?
Yeah.
So who's the heel? Is Seth Rollins the heel?
Lately, with all his Twitter shit.
So we got a heel versus heel title match.
No, Lesnar would definitely be face.
For us, for the fans. But I mean, like, if you were writing a story, they're both bad guys. You know what I mean?
No, they'd put the blinders on and be like, he's playing the role of the face.
Oh, that's what they think?
He's gonna be the face, even though we just had him burn Brock Lesnar's parents' cottage. Seth Rollins is the face.
That doesn't seem like a classically babyface maneuver to burn somebody's house down. But you know what, though? If Hogan did it, everyone would pop. He could do heel shit it didn't matter. He could do all of the heel shit. We'll talk about that on our Patreon episode. But he could do the heelest heel shit. And you put him in them yellow tights, and everyone's like, yay, good guy.
Look at those flames, dude. Red and yellow. Brother Jack.
Everyone would cheer, and he would pose.
So yeah, SummerSlam. There was some baller matchups. That'll be a good show. Just we can live without these Raws. I might just start showing up for the pay-per-views because they're 8-hour pre-show. They're gonna get me up to date on whatever storyline they're trying to do anyway. So I don't really need to watch it live. But now that I have the network, it's like I can watch this other show that I know is good.
I feel like their whole business has sort of shifted. You know, it used to be all about the touring and the house shows, and like that was the majority of how they made their money.
And now it's Saudi Arabia.
And yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. But now it's like, even if like does Raw sell out all the time or no? Not anymore.
A lot of the times,
okay.
When they don't, and there's a small house, people are always posting the pictures. They're like, "Look at the turnout for Raw," and it's just like they have so much of it sectioned off.
Right.
And then some of these cities, they're packed up, so they're not consistently selling out. That's for fucking certain.
So they have TV deals. They're making money on their TV, and it's not.
Oh yeah, and this Fox thing, that's going to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like baseball. When everyone was like worried about baseball attendance, people are like, look at their TV contracts they're signing. You don't have to worry about their attendance when they're getting $1 billion TV deals. You know, like it's advertising. It's a TV show now. It's completely shifted into sit at your house media. And man, I'm telling you, when I got into wrestling, when I was a little kid, it was all about the house shows. Just was like pay-per-views weren't even a big thing. WrestleMania. When I was a little kid, when I got into wrestling, there was WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble, and that was it. And then there was like Superstars, and Saturday Night's Main Event was on for a little while when I was into it still, or like when I first got into it. But I remember going to a house show when I was a little kid at Rosemont Horizon. There was like 20,000 people there. It was sold. It was like oversold. and Hogan was there, and Savage was there. Like all of the A-list top guys were there, and they were at somewhere else the next night, and that was sold out. You know, it was just like that's how they were making all this money, and now it's like a TV show, but you got way too many fucking characters. I can't get into it.
No, they don't. They don't have too many characters.
You sure?
They have too many. They have too many wrestlers. They don't have.
Oh, right.
any
Okay, yeah.
character.
I get you. Yeah, yeah.
God, you see what I did?
I see. I like what you did. Because there's no like you used to watch. Did you watch Superstars at all when you were growing up?
A little bit, yeah.
It was like an hour long. There'd probably only be like 4 matches, you know, maybe 5 or something.
Yeah.
And it would never, very rarely would you get 2. Would you ever see like a top guy on it? But like the sort of the mid to high mid card guys would be squashing some jobber, or it would be some match where there was like not a real finish, you know, some weird DQ thing or something. And then they would just be promoting coming to this Saturday. It's the Indianapolis convention, blah, blah, blah. Like it's a shit that was going to be in your town. They'd be advertising it. There weren't any matches. There were hardly any segments, but when there was a segment, like I feel like it was the Superstars when Undertaker came out and was like choking out Hogan and broke the necklace, and I feel like that was the Superstars. And I remember just being like, holy shit, this Undertaker guy is the truth. Even though he's a fucking living dead zombie, man, we don't even know what he is. It worked. And he was a character. He was like,
and they did that back in like the NWA times and all those fucking Jerry Lawler ones. I love going down a Lawler Terry Funk fucking rabbit hole because all those shows with the fucking Southern guys in suits and they're just like, I can't believe he's coming out here.
Yeah,
and they're fucking drunk and throwing beer bottles at motherfuckers and hitting people with cars, and it's fucking like this is awesome.
It was building up towards a big match that was going to sell out a place, you know?
Yeah.
And now they don't. It feels like they don't even need to do that. Like you just said, we have a WrestleMania, like a double WrestleMania repeat card or something at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like you just did this shit.
Next time, and this is for you and anyone listening, of course. Next time you go down the Andy Kaufman rabbit hole, because we all do it every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
When they show that wrestling footage, the pile drivers, all that shit, and the lead up events as well. Look how big those fucking crowds are.
It's ridiculous.
They're huge.
Here's one too for anyone that's interested. Anyone that, even if you're not into wrestling anymore or whatever, but when I want to say it was the Freebirds wrestled in Texas against the Von Erichs. That shit was like a fucking Super Bowl. There were like tens and tens and tens of thousands of people there to see this wrestling match. And at the time, you wouldn't have even heard about it. It wouldn't even have been on local television anywhere. And this was sold out. It was crazy. There's just none of that anymore.
Yeah, there's no must see. Like, oh, they're coming to town. I have to go see. Like I can live without it.
I saw 2 house shows when I was a little kid, and I loved it. It was my chance to see.
The live events are fun though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go to a Raw. I would never go to a Raw.
No, it's all the downtime and the commercials and
because
shit.
I did go to the TLC last year, and that shit was so much fun. Like I said, the pay-per-views are usually pretty fucking solid, and the house shows are probably pretty good because they loosen up and experiment.
Do they still do house shows?
Yeah.
Do they have like
live events,
real like the real deals on there? On some of them,
it's usually split, but there's usually a couple powerhouses that'll get you. Roman Reigns,
I remember seeing Tatanka wrestle Yokozuna leading up to WrestleMania 10. And in like in your mind, you're like, well, there's no way he's gonna win at this house show and win the title. when WrestleMania is next month. But as a 9-year-old, I'm like, but what if? You never know.
What if? Because Tatanka was undefeated for a long time.
He was, and we'll talk about that when we do WrestleMania 9 as well.
Yeah. So we're doing these wrestling pay-per-view breakdowns, wrestler-centric kind of episodes for the Patreon stuff that we're still firing up, getting ready for that. And one of the things we do for the pay-per-views, we're gonna match by match breakdown, of course, and we're gonna rate them. We're gonna rate those motherfuckers. And Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels, you're gonna be surprised.
Yeah, you are.
You're gonna be surprised.
I know I was watching it for the first time in a long time.
So
we're still doing the other stuff though. That's just part of the Patreon. We're still doing the movie
extra content,
the movie watch-alongs. I'm gonna do some album breakdowns, some musician band breakdowns where I will talk about albums and bands that have just changed the course of my life, and you can get inside the mind of me.
him.
There's to be all kinds of shit on that Patreon. And this show will still be how it is every week, where sometimes for half the show we talk about wrestling on accident. Sometimes talk about Halloween for 90 minutes. You never know what you're going to get.
Nothing this week, though.
Nothing this week. Kills.
Kills. Halloween kills. Yeah, let's plug it up. Unless you got anything else, Jim.
I don't have anything else this week to talk about show content-wise, but plug-wise, I don't care. It doesn't matter if you use Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music Unlimited, or if you're cheap and you just go on YouTube, you can find Bold Hearts' debut single, One More Chance, anywhere that has streaming music. You can find it, go listen to it, love it. Follow me on Instagram at JamesJRMusic. You can follow me on Facebook at JamesJRSongs. You can follow Dad Bod. Dad Bod's got some shows coming up.
Dad Bod?
Dad Bod has a show coming up on August 17th. And why do you know that?
Because the August 17th Dad Bod show is at 350 Brewing. Yeah.
50 Brewing in Tinley Park. Love that place. Dale really loves that place. Goes there all the time. That is August 17th. That's a Saturday. Come see Dad Bod there. And you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/DadBodLive.
I'm definitely going to be there. It lines up with my work schedule and everything. Can't fucking wait for that one. Plug-wise, for me, I don't really have anything. Mindhunter Season 2 begins August 16th. But I didn't write it or anything. It's just a good show that I liked on Netflix. And now Season 2 is coming out. Otherwise, follow me on Instagram at Dale Zawada. And this is fucking episode 83. Thanks for listening.
83.
I'm Becky Lynch.
I'm King Harley Race.